And we are live. Hello everybody. As you may be able to tell, I'm not where I'm usually at. I'm in fact in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the good old US of A, attending a conference, but that doesn't mean I can't be here with you during this early part of Novel Sprint 2025. Thank you for joining me this Tuesday for our very first Tuesday Tip and Type. And that's our little gathering where we'll be coming to do a few mini writing sprints in each other's company, share our progress, and also I'll be sharing with you some writing craft tips, as it goes in. So thank you, welcome everyone. I see everyone's been hitting up the comments already. Yes, do let us know how things are going for you, even if you haven't written a single thing yet. We want to know what you're working on, how it's going for you. You can talk about any sort of roadblocks or barriers you've encountered or any sort of minor wins you've had. I see we have here Sank3 Plays, writing a high fantasy romance novel. Wonderful. We have Nydia Autism Advice, writing a mystery, something they've never thought of doing right now, writing and trying hard not to edit. Good. Yes, do not edit as you go. Let yourself go all the way through. Apologies for my voice. We were on the conference floor yesterday, me and Ricardo, my colleague here at Reedsy, chatting to loads of folks, some of whom are regular viewers of Reedsy Live, but it does mean I was shouting all yesterday, which has left me in not immense voice. Elysia Writes is here, attempting their first novel, decided to document their journey through the process. Fantastic. Still going slow, but excited to see this through. Good luck to everyone on their work in progress. Nikki Rebel says, how's Las Vegas? It's a strange old place. I'm really enjoying meeting authors and other folks in the self-publishing and publishing world, but it is incredibly expensive here. Lisa Pigeon is trying to bash through a Celtic or Celtic-inspired retelling of Red Riding Hood without thinking about how much editing it will need. Yes, exactly. No thinking of editings at this point. Gemma Newey is ambitiously writing 2 books, a psychology crime fiction, dark paranormal romance. Mad indeed. Cool, well, we've got some stuff to get through. Do remember to hit like on this stream here. If you do enjoy it, that'll help it get shared a little bit more. Because of what I'll be showing a little bit later, this particular video won't be around on our channel forever. I'll keep it up until the end of the month. But yes, do take notes if you'd like to. But, we have Shaky Stacy, 7,000 words down so far, right on target. Incredible. Well done there. Reverend Allison, fantasy novel, coming of age type thing. Wonderful. Anyway, I digress. It is time for us to kick things off. Welcome to Tip and Type Tuesday. Hello everybody and welcome to the very first Tip and Type Tuesday as part of Reedsy's Novel Sprint 2025. My name is Martin, I'm from the team here at Reedsy, and here today is Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'm attending a self-publishing conference, Author Nation. If anyone here for some reason is attending it right now, do come by and say hello. I've already spoken to a few of you. Already we have in our comments people sharing their progress, which has been absolutely fantastic. So great to hear about everyone's progress here. But before we get too far, I've got a little bit of business to get on with. As to be expected, within the first few days, some people ran into some technical teething issues. We've had our team go over on this. I thought I'll sort of read them out just now. Some people found that the word counter was doubling people's actual word count. This is something we fixed. There were also delays in the word count not updating until the end of the day. This has also been fixed. If you're still in there, you may have to refresh your browser to see it update with it there. You may want to save everything as a backup onto a text note, but that should be good right now. Some people are reporting trouble typing on a tablet. If that is the case, there is a way for you to disable desktop mode in order to do that properly. I'll share that in the comments just now. Enable desktop mode. And that should do it if you are typing on, a tablet of some form. Some people are accidentally highlighting and deleting text because their touchpad is too sensitive. There are options to turn touchpad off for the usage of this particular thing. And yes, If there are any other issues you have regarding word count, if it's double counting or not counting enough, don't worry. All the words will be counted accurately in the back end. When it comes to the end of things, we'll make sure everything is adjusted correctly there. Cool. Yeah, Nikki Rebel said the word counter was being weird, but has been fixed. Appreciate. Word from the wise. If you ever have a new product, never launch it on Saturday, the 1st of November, when everyone's away from work for 2 days. That is something we've learned. However, this is Tip and Type Tuesday, where we invite you in to do some writing sprints. We're going to do 3 of them, 10 minutes each, just an opportunity for us to get a few more of our word counts in. And then also, as a treat, I said in the sort of title of this is all about scene versus summary. It's a topic, about, I think is quite important. Unlike, real life, you don't have to observe absolutely everything happening in your story. Sometimes telling is more effective than showing. And for this, I'm going to dig into our How to Write a Novel course created by Tom Bromley, which is a fantastic 100-day course we have that teaches you everything you need to know about the craft of writing a novel. But today, I'm going to bring you one of these lessons split into 3 parts, talking about this very topic. So if you don't mind, I might actually share the first part of this video before we start our first writing sprint. Okay, let's have a look.
When it comes to writing, you've probably heard of the magic rule of show, don't tell. This suggests that usually it is better when you're writing to show the reader a piece of information rather than telling it. And the reason behind that is quite straightforward. When you show the reader something, it means the reader has to use their imagination to work out what is going on. Whereas if you tell them, there's no space for them to interpret it themselves. The magic of reading, as we've talked about before, is where the reader uses their imagination. You have that connection between a writer and a reader. But when it comes to plotting, I think the situation is slightly different. Yes, it's true on a bigger picture scale that there's a difference between writing material out in specific scenes and summarising and telling the reader generally what happens. Scenes beat summary in terms of creating impact on the reader. However, if you're writing a whole novel, there's simply no way that you can show everything that's happening. Over the duration of what you're writing, it would mean that you'd be showing everything, from first thing in the morning to last thing at night. The novel would be enormous. You simply haven't got the space to do that. So instead, when you're writing fiction, and long-form fiction, the skill is knowing when to show for impact and when to tell for speed. If you look at any novel, there will usually be a balance of these 2 elements rather than the book being all one thing or all another. It's a combination of these 2 elements. The skill is knowing how to write those scenes when you want to write those moments out, but not being afraid to tell of moments when you need to pass by to get onto the next scene. I call it a sort of concertina writing. There's bits you expand out and bits you contract down, rather than there being an equal weighting to the narrative throughout. There's a fantastic quote from Lee Child, the thriller writer, who says, "Write the fast stuff slow and the slow stuff fast." When you've got a key moment for impact, write the fast stuff slow. Write it out, almost in slow motion. And when there's less going on, whiz on to the next bit. Write the slow stuff fast. And when you were writing and thinking about how the plot and the structuring is taking place, think about the balance between the 2. Your big moments, you want to be written out in scenes, but there will be moments where you will want to tell as well in order to get to the next bit.
Okay, thank you, Tom. That is to be continued a little bit later, but now let's hit up the first of our writing sprints. If you are new to this is how it works. Mini writing sprints, I'm going to put a timer on, put in a little bit of light background music, and we're all going to get down and write non-stop for 10 minutes. If you're taking part in the Novel Sprint Challenge, do this in Reedsy Studio. It will add to the word count there. If you're not taking part, feel free to do it on Studio or wherever else you like. But yes, I myself have to prepare for a presentation tomorrow, so while you guys are writing, I'm going to be working away at that slide deck there. All right, so if we are happy with that one, And let's start with our very first print. Good luck, everyone. Okay, and that is the end of our first writing mini sprint. Yeah, let me know in the comments, how did it feel for you? You don't have to share your word count if you don't want to, but if you do, feel free to do that. This is a place for us to celebrate each other's small wins. But in the meantime, Linda says that she's only written 769 words, feeling a bit overwhelmed. Book is a cozy paranormal mystery. Good thoughts appreciated, not an excuse, but not feeling up to writing. But Linda, it's the act of sitting down and getting any writing done, which is what we're going for. As people will be telling you, the number of words you hit is just a bonus. But yes, this is all about building that habit. If you have been ill, that's absolutely fine to take it easy on yourself. But as soon as you're feeling better, get back on that horse and solidify that act as habit. What else? How else has everyone done? Yep. As M. Alison Zavo says, like Dory says, just keep swimming. Michelle in your shoulder, 216 words, fantastic. Yes, that's really, really good. Thanks for sort of coming in. I hope you found it useful. Let me also know what do you think about the style of music. Do you want something a little bit more upbeat or something just that disappears even further into the background? John Scott's done 1,079 so far today, 206 during that 10-minute sprint. Bristolverse 84, 32 words. Hey, that's 32 words you didn't have before. Little Saga 261, Deloria 188. Remember, this is not a competition between each of us. The very fact that we are in the black, we are going positive, is always a good thing. So yes, just to give ourselves a little bit of a break, let's go to part 2 of our video on scenes versus summary from Tom Bromley.
We're going to begin today with a short story by Raymond Carver. It's from a collection called What We Talk About When We Talk About Love. And this is an extract from a short story called Viewfinder. Now, this short story is pure showing. There's no space for anything else. It means that the reader is focused in on the moment. If you've got time to seek out and read the whole thing, then you can see that there's no summarising going on at all. It's a verbatim account, as it were, of what's happening. And I think for a short story, that works fine. This story is about 4 or 5 pages long, so the writer doesn't have to expand out or go into more detail. It's all about showing, of being left to the reader's imagination, and that's how this piece works. A novel is a different beast. To give you the converse example, this is the chapter from Fault Lines, a novel we've looked at elsewhere in the course. In this extract, there's a whole chapter in thought and summary. It is giving the reader the background in terms of Mizuki's relationship with her husband, Tatsuya. So here we're speeding through their time together. Tatsuya and I have been together 16 years. I thought I chose well. For over a decade, when it first got like this, I felt bad for him. I thought Tatsuya would come back to me for a while. It upset me so much that I thought I could shake him out of it. I didn't set off on a course to destroy my good name. So here we've got this movement through time. We've got a narrative ticking through, but it's a summary of their marriage and their relationship up to the point where the novel takes place. As a chapter, it works extremely effectively in terms of what it does. But if the whole book was like this, then that would be quite difficult and quite slow to read. But as a single, concise summary, it's very effective. So if those are opposite examples of a piece that's all showing and a piece that's all telling, let's look at the slightly more nuanced part where we're starting to mix the two together. In this next example, I'm going to look at where the reader is taken from the general through to the specifics. And this is an early chapter from The Confessions of Franny Langton by Sarah Collins. And this is a story of Franny, who was a slave girl taken from the Caribbean to live in England. At the start of the chapter, it is all very general. I used to be called Franny Langton before I was taken from Paradise to London. Where I come from, there's more than one way a man gives you his name. This isn't going to be the story of all that was done to me at Paradise. The difficult thing is to know where to start. So here in this first section, it's all very general. It's not grounded in a scene. It's giving the overall thoughts and background of this main central character. And then we start to focus in a bit more. But rather than talking about a specific scene, we're now talking about things that happen generally. I was born at Paradise, and I was still a small girl when they took me from the slave quarters up to the house. For a long time, I thought that was a stroke of luck, but it was nothing more than the lie's habit of trying to make fact better than truth. Some nights, if Fibber had left the shutters open and the candles lit, I could creep along the river through damp grass. So this is how things generally happened. The house was a sight come morning too. So we're having this sense here of how life is generally. It's more specific than the opening page, but we're still not within a specific scene. And that only happens on the next page. Then, one afternoon, Miss Bella told Fibber to fetch me. So at this point, we're zooming in. We're on a specific moment and a specific scene, and the reader's interest is piqued as a result. Now, there's a lot of good detail in those first couple of pages. The reader's being given a lot of useful and helpful background. But it's only once we get to this third moment where things really start to come alive. In a similar way, this next extract is from Kololo Hill by Nima Shah. And this is the story of an Indian family who flee from Uganda in the early 1970s to come and live in Britain. This section here at the start again follows the same process as the previous example. We start with the general. As the days passed, more weary new arrivals joined them at the barracks. Jaya wanted to comfort them and help them settle in, but it meant enduring their stories. So here at the start, she's listening to these people arriving, telling her their stories. Yet there were others who already arrived well before Jaya, who were already refusing to talk about Uganda. So now we're showing how these people have changed. To start with, they want to tell you what's happened. Then they don't want to talk about it at all. So then we start focusing more specifically. She wanted to forget too, but she had to know everything that was going on in Uganda. So now we're knowing generally how Jaya is feeling. And then finally, we go to the specifics. Jaya crouched by Asha's bed. And from this point on, we're now into an individual scene. So again, we're doing that run from general to character specific, from things generally happening and then down to the specific scene itself. And once we're into that specific scene, that's where the reader is really picking up interest and having a close look at what is going on.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom, for that one. I've had some feedback here on the music. We've had, I think, Michelle says maybe something different, something classical but still in the background. Anna says maybe something a little bit different each time. That sounds good to me. I think all I have loaded up is something a little bit spacey, but during this next writing sprint, I shall go and dig up something classical that is also free to use, because I don't want to have to get this taken off YouTube. Okay, so let's do another 10 minutes, settle down for another 10-minute writing sprint, uninterrupted. We'll have slightly different music this time, but let's get started. Okay, fantastic. That's the end of our second sprint there. How's that for everyone? The music had a bit more of a classical sort of feel to it. Might not be everyone's vibe, but let me know how that second sprint went for you. Did the words flow easier this time? Are you feeling yourself gummed up? Maybe it's time to move on to a slightly different tactic, maybe to try move on to maybe if you were writing a scene, perhaps summarizing it, or perhaps if you're summarizing, you want to dive into a scene. Speaking of which, let's get to the last bit of our video with Tom Bromley on scene versus summary. In the previous sections, he was talking about this idea of starting a chapter or a bit of a story in a general way and then sort of dialing in until you get to a specific moment there. Mariah Khalifa says they wrote 476 words. That's fantastic. Well done. All right, we're going to have one more video and then we are going to see how everyone is doing and then plow on with our very last writing sprint.
The other way of doing this is to mix it up. So rather than just having this one way of travel from general to specific, the writer uses the specific moments and the scene-specific moments to create moments of focus, but they contrast that with what else is going on at the same time. And this extract is from a book called Assembly by Natasha Brown. And this is a conversation between our protagonist, who's unnamed, and someone she works with called Rachel. They are two people who work together at a bank. And here we have the conversation interspersed with general summary from our protagonist character. And Rachel here is wanting a promotion. She's feeling a little bit hard done by at work. So we have this conversation at the start. It's the principle, Rachel had told me earlier that day. Fuck the sexism, harness it. Then we have summary about what Rachel was adamant about, and then we go back into the detail. We had our usual table at the mezzanine coffee point above the office lobby. Rachel's nails, peachy, manicured as always, tip-tapped against her almond latte. So here we are in the focus of the scene. We've had this background detail about how these two people have slipped, co-workers to friends. And then we're back into the conversation again. Victimhood is a choice, Rachel said. And as the chapter goes on, it continues to be a back and forth between the scene specifics and the summary. So as we said at the top, show don't tell is a useful maxim in terms of specifics in a scene, but less useful perhaps over the course of a novel. Here instead, the key is the balance in thinking about which bits you want to show for impact and which bits you want to tell for speed.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Yes, I think that's an important bit to sort of figure out. When you want something to have more emotional impact, of course, you want to dive into the scene, but sometimes you just need to go through and get to those points and while managing your pace and your tone there. Okay, some people talking about writing to instrumental jazz, other people quite enjoyed the sort of more classical music, but I have downloaded something that is royalty free and I believe it is a classical-ish piece. So let us perhaps go straight into our last writing sprint of the day. If you're feeling a little bit tired, don't worry, you can take it a little bit easier this time, but I think some folks felt like they were warming up in that second sprint there, so perhaps we can ride that crest and take it right to the end. Okay, so 10 minutes on there. Let's start with the new music and see you in 10. Okay, and that brings the last of our mini sprints today to a close. How was that for everyone? Genuinely interested to hear everyone's feedback to see how the shape of this went, whether the music was maybe too intense this time or just right. Leave a bit of feedback and I'll try to tailor the future ones. But while you add those in, I might as well let you know what's coming up next. Of course, we have a few things going on. We have our Wednesday Writers Club tomorrow. That is similar to our old Reedsy Lives. We'll bring on a guest to give you a presentation. This one is our guest editor, Casey Seaman, who should be talking about writing dialogue. Some people said, if dialogue isn't a strong suit of yours, tune in and give that a go today. And then on Friday, I won't be there. I'll be driving to California to see some friends. But Savannah from the team will be taking over that one for Friday Writing Happy Hour. She'll be hosting Rebecca Van Leer, the author, and also a member of Team Reedsy, to talk about her sort of journey as a writer, her habits and processes, and they'll be hosting a couple of mini sprints as well. But that'll be an opportunity for you all to get together and share what your progress has been like in the first week, and maybe we'll get together and try troubleshoot any issues you might be running into. But yes, I want to thank everyone. Maria Khalaf, 792 words in total. Alexandra, 458. Anna D writes, damn, that felt fast. Rebecca Buchanan, 347 that time. She loved the music. Cool. Well, Michelle on Your Shoulder, instrumental jazz also sounds good. Yeah, I'll see if I can rustle up some of those. I'll bring maybe a variety and we can all pick what goes on next time there. Devlin says, came late, will this be saved? Yes, it will be available on our YouTube channel at this precise link, at least until the end of the month. After that, I might be taking this down because that video I showed you was from our How to Write a Novel. Sorry, I just hit my microphone there. How to Write a Novel course, and I can't be slowly releasing the entire thing for free. But yes, if you are interested in actually taking that course, it is now only $499. It is so worth it. It's got over 100 lessons that you can tune into, including some author panels, and it'll give you access to some of the really cool live events we have as well. M. Alison Zaba says there's something that happens when we write together as a group, gestalt. Yeah, there is, I think, quite nice. This can be quite, feel quite isolating perhaps, but having a bunch of us here, we've had over 60 people tune in today. Just imagine what that would look like in a room. Basically, it's a busy cafe or a really sparsely populated arena. Yes, the group scares off the writer's blocks. I can see my sound there is peaking. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for tuning into this one. Do turn up for the other ones. I'll be hosting the one tomorrow, which will be happening an hour earlier than we normally do because I'm doing this presentation here. But thank you very much. Best of luck, keep on writing, and I'll see you soon.